Hi, I'm Cheryl Mays. I am the founder and the Chief Learning Officer for Rise and Shine CF. And we're a training company with 3 signature programs: leadership development, employee engagement, and business processing using Lean Six Sigma. Today, I am excited to be here as a speaker for Empowering Women in Industry Conference 2020. And I am excited to share with you today as we discuss leadership and on leading through influence. The most effective leaders shape the culture of their organization through a powerful combination of both behavior and messages. Through the behavior and messages, a powerful shadow is cast that influences everyone around them in their workplace, in their home, and in their community. Leadership based on character, on values, are essential to both impact and success. By word, action, and example, values-based leaders seek to inspire, motivate, and use their influence to pursue what matters most. I am going to share my screen. Leadership more than ever, and values-based leadership is important because of breaches of ethics, because of a betrayal of public trust, because of a violation of fiduciary responsibility. So we continue the need to illustrate a strong commitment to the fundamental principles of leadership. And this session, I am going to ask you to walk with me as we discover the 4 fundamental elements of leadership. This you have probably seen all too much, especially during this time, where you have literally, as a leader, you've had to shift your mind. You've had to shift it to believe that it is possible, to believe that we are going to be fine, and to share that with your team, that they are going to be okay, that you are right there, that together you can harness the power of your thoughts and allow them to be able to focus on the goals. You've had to shift your power. You have had to literally now have everyone think about this. If we were to take 100% responsibility for our results, how much more powerful could we be as a team? How much more powerful could you be as a leader? You have had to shift your actions, because what you do more intentionally, the more will happen purposefully. So there has had to be a paradigm shift. And now, wait for it, pivot. That is the word of 2020. As we have all had to pivot, we are now looking at what can we do to be better? What can we do to have another opportunity at leading our teams to success, at allowing them to be developed to whereas they want to stay with the company because they have a sense of loyalty. That's what a leader does. And I wanted to share a leader's life. I received this quote, I actually found it, it's by Michelle Obama, and I want to read it just as is. You may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve all the world's problems at once. But don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own. As a leader, courage and hope, those are the 2 facets that you need to be able to lead your teams across the finish line. Those are the 2 habits that you must have in order for you to be able to be successful. When you are courageous and you are standing, you are telling your teams that you are going to be right there with them and everything's going to be okay, because that's what they want to know. Are we okay? And they want you to be honest, and they want you to give them hope, because with the hope, they have the ability to accomplish the goals for the organization, and they have the ability to accomplish their personal goals. That's the leader's life. You know, Shakespeare says, heavy is the head that wears the crown. As a leader, that is the role that you've been given. And so as you look at the fundamental principles of leadership, our first one we're going to talk about is self-reflection. Why self-reflection? Because think about this, core values. When you are looking at a company, they have actually had a self-reflection moment where they have selected their core values. As an individual, we also must live by our core values because that's what keeps us going true north. So if we were to veer from side to side, we have the ability to be able to regroup and continue to head true north solely by our core values. And I have attached a form, a sheet that I share with individuals to help them look beyond the typical integrity, responsibility, and accountability. Those are all very great core values, but I want you to think about your personal core values. I want you to go deeper. And so I often share this sheet because it has a lot of words that will allow you to see what jumps off at the page, because that's how a core value works. So I want you to take some time and select 5. No more than 5. I want you to focus on 5 core values, and I want you to share them with your team. Because choosing your core values is one of the most critical focusing decisions that can make an amazing difference in how you live your life and how you lead your team. And as a person, they reflect the fundamental choices of who we want to be. And we are continuously becoming who we are meant to be. So I want you to go ahead and select those core values. The second fundamental principle of leadership is balance and perspective. Balance is the ability to see issues, problems, and questions from all angles, including those that have differing viewpoints and those that are dramatically opposed. In all aspects of your life, both personally and professionally, pursuing balance will give you a richer, more holistic perspective. You move beyond what you know in order to consider what others have to say. And sometimes you change your mind. And in other times, you find that your opinions are affirmed. Whatever the outcome, though, you will become more knowledgeable and gain confidence in your decision making because you are more balanced. Because every decision that you make is based on a past event and how you responded to that event. And so here I want to introduce you to a very, very old formula. It has been used throughout the ages, and it is a simple formula. E plus R equals O. E plus R equals O. The event plus the response equals your outcome. What do you have control over? You have control over your response. I call that the R factor. You have control over the thing that you can change in order to get a different outcome. I want to share a story with you. Think about this, a calf, an elephant calf, he's tied to a stake and he has this huge rope around his neck. And every day this calf tugs at the rope and he's unable to free himself. Now, the calf is now an elephant, 13,000 pounds at the circus or the zoo. The elephant no longer tries to free himself because as a calf, when he tried, he was not able to. And so now he no longer tries. His mindset has been shifted. Now, you think about this because you have the ability, you have control over 3 things: your thoughts, your behaviors, and the images that you visualize. So if you want a different outcome, then change your response, because the event, there's nothing you can do about that other than blame and complain. And that doesn't help at all. So what does help? Exercise number 2. What does help is to ask yourself, if you were to take 5% more responsibility, I want you to answer these 3 questions. And they're all basically the same premise. If I were to take 5% more responsibility for being a better leader, I would fill in the blank. If I were to take 5% more responsibility for my departmental goals, I would go ahead and fill in the blank. If I were to take 5% more responsibility for the development of my team, I would. And then allow your team to do this exercise also, because this allows individuals to look at what they have control over and not focus on what they can't change. Our third fundamental principle is true self-confidence. True self-confidence, it's not just about speaking up. It's about developing a greater competency in areas in which you lack ability or confidence. It's in places where you are out of your comfort zone. And it allows you to get feedback so that you can improve on what it is that you're looking to improve on. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people look at their weaknesses and they want to get better in those weaknesses. Get better in your strengths. Get better in your strengths. Now, align yourself with individuals that are great in those things that you are not good in. And now you are developing them, you are empowering them, and you are making yourself a much better leader, and you are helping your team because you are developing them in areas that will allow them to, at some point, be leaders, because leaders create leaders. And so here's how you do this. You get feedback, a leader's performance chart. Once a week, I'd like for you to ask these 3 questions. And I want you to have your team rate you from 1 to 10. This is great also if you are at home and you have a partner to do this once a week and you have a better relationship. So I want you to answer these 3 questions. How would you rate my performance this week on listening? 1 being the least or the worst, 10 being the best, and then the numbers in between ranging in the average, higher or lower. The second question, how would you rate my performance in helping the team achieve the goals? From 1 to 10. The third question, how would you rate my ability to clearly define the vision for this department? From 1 to 10. Now, here's the most important part to this exercise, is that once you have been rated, and if you are anywhere from 8 or below, the next question is very important. The next question is, what could I do to get a higher score? That's where you're going to find that you have the ability to improve your leadership skills and how you work and communicate with your team. I have a mentor, and yes, I brought a guy to the party. My mentor is Rick Walsh, and we met. I was the director at Junior Achievement, and I had an event. It's called the Hall of Fame, where we honor community leaders for their stellar performance in their business, as well as in the community. And so I had a student actually go and speak with Rick, and I attended. And so we had an opportunity to chat. So when I started my business, I went to him and we shared some ideas, and we talked about leadership a lot. And one of the things that he shared with me, and I share this with you because I want you to really think about this as a goal for a leader. A leader's goal is to get better, to help people get better, and then get better at helping people get better. That's the goal of a leader, is to get yourself better and then help others get better, and then continue to get better at it. That's how a leader accomplishes new leaders. That's how a leader invokes people to want to be leaders, as opposed to being that leader that no one wants to be like. So definitely get better. Our final fundamental characteristic, final fundamental principle is genuine humility. Learning how to stay grounded and remembering that you were not always a leader. And at the heart of genuine humility is never forgetting who you are, appreciating the value for each person that is in your organization, and treating everyone respectfully, whether they are a manager, a spouse, or a neighbor. Genuine humility enables you to remain authentic, approachable, and open to others. And so one of the pieces that I love to share about true leadership is the ability to laugh. Bring humor into the workplace. It's okay to have fun at work. It's okay for your team to be excited about being there and about being with one another. Here's the great thing about humor and laughter. It gives leaders the ability to take setbacks. Cheerful leaders also win cooperation. It increases creativity. It decreases your mental tension, and it focuses more on people working together. It lowers your blood pressure. It strengthens the immune system. And if you have the ability to laugh 100 to 120 times a day, that is equivalent to 10 minutes of rowing. Imagine the exercise that you could get from actually laughing. So have a humor person. Designate a humor person. Call her the joy expert. Allow them to be able to share moments where they just get together and they just laugh and they just feel good. I encourage you to look at a values-based leader, one that motivates, one that inspires, and one that empowers, because that's the template for being a great leader. At the end of the day, how you lead, it's up to you. But a successful leader is one that allows their teams to be developed. It's one that allows themselves to be revealed so that people can help you, so that you can help others. It's a partnership. And I do have one final thing that I did want to share. So I am sorry if I went through that there. It is one final quote here. And it's about a leader's purpose. And it says, leadership is not a person or a position. It is a complex moral relationship between people based on trust, obligation, commitment, emotion, and a shared vision of the good. Here's my contact information. You can reach me on any one of these outlets. I also have a book that's available on Amazon about how to move beyond your fear. So I am totally excited about being able to share with you today. Please take this opportunity to look at the way you lead and those that are around you. And at the end of the day, how you lead, again, it's totally up to you. But a successful leader, a great leader, a values-based leader is one that inspires, motivates, and empowers. And I will leave you with one last saying. Set a goal that commands your thoughts, liberates your energy, and inspires your hope. Be a great leader. Most importantly, be a values-based leader. Enjoy the rest of the Empowering Women in Industry Conference. I am excited to see the other speakers, and thank you so much for joining me, and thank you to the industry, Empowering Women, for allowing me to be able to share with you. Have an amazing time.